Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Tip Show. No football with us right now, no game week coming up this weekend, but I had to get someone special to kind of help us through this tough week. And I have Ellie, Chelsea fan. How are you?
I'm doing
Brilliant
really
FPL player as
good.
well.
What? Sorry?
Brilliant FPL player as well.
My team has not been doing that good.
Yeah.
But I guess with game week 29, nobody really did amazing. But
Yeah.
I was upset about Kyle.
You're very right. So how I came across Ellie, I remember last year, I think you were on TV like in November, September, around that time. And basically the first time you're on Premier League TV was also the first time I was on Premier League TV. So I saw you and then I was like, wow, she actually knows her stuff. But yeah, it's very difficult to know how to contact someone through that. So Liv, that's how I knew. I saw Liv retweeting your stuff and I was like, she's the one. She's the one I saw on TV. I was like, I had to contact her. So last year we tried to plan something, but obviously Christmas came up and New Year came up. So finally she's here. And today we're going to be doing a kind of a different show. We'll be talking about the best assets to own from every single team. I told her that yesterday, and she was like, Sheffield United. We can't really pick any from Sheffield United, but yeah, we'll just try and pick the best assets from each team. So we'll start right now. And Ellie, what have you made of your Premier League or Fantasy Premier League season so far before we get started?
It's actually my first year playing FPL. So when it started, I didn't have any idea how it worked, and I learned quickly and got addicted quickly. But I started off really bad because I didn't know how to play, and my team was terrible. I had like too many Chelsea players, and they just weren't playing well or not at all. And so I had to recover from that. But now I'm at like 900,000, so it's not it's pretty good, I think, considering the amount that I've had to recover. Not too bad.
Who would you say introduced you to the game?
I just saw like everybody tweeting about it. I was like, what are they going on about this FPL? And I was like, oh, maybe I'll give it a go this year. And I got addicted, of course.
Yeah, it's very, very good. I think this is my like 5th season, but I also started the same way, like Twitter. I was like, why is everyone tweeting about this game? I really loved it. So yeah, since then, it's bad. It's actually very addictive. It's very addictive, like playing FPL. It's very fun as well, though. So let's see how good you are at it. So we're going to go through the 20 teams and the must-own assets or the best assets from these teams. So the first team is going to be Manchester City. So 8-9 game weeks remaining for them. Who do you think is the best asset to own from Manchester City through now to the end of the season?
It's a difficult one because with Pep Roulette, like you literally never know. And especially with them progressing in the Champions League, I feel like that's going to be even more so. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to – I have Gundogan right now. I don't know if I'm going to keep him really. Kevin De Bruyne as well, I feel like might be a little risky. So if I were to own any asset from City, I would probably go for a defender. I have 2 right now. I'm doubled up on Cancelo and Diaz. And the reason why I'm doubled up is just because the majority of the time they're probably going to get you a clean sheet, but it's kind of like if they don't get a clean sheet, it's really risky. But if they do, you do get a lot of points. And I think Cancelo is really good attacking return as well. And so even if he's benched one game week, like the other week he got 12 points. So if he gets 12 points in 1 week and he's benched the next week, he's still averaging 6 points, which is what you really want from a defender. So I'd probably go for those 2.
I kind of agree with you in terms of defense, but they have Champions League coming up, I think, the very next week after next game week. So I do expect them to beat Dortmund as well. And then after that, probably face Bayern or PSG. So I think they'll have to rest players here and there. So I'm going to go with the defender as well, but I'm going to go with the goalkeeper. I'm going to go with Ederson. I think is the one who's definitely going to play every single game. Diaz does play every single game. Stones gets rested. Cancelo gets rested. So if you have a good bench and you're okay with missing out on a couple of their assets once in a while, that's okay. But I'm actually going to go with Ederson as a set and forget goalkeeper between now and the end of the season. So Diaz for you, Ederson for me. Team number 2 is Manchester United.
I think you have to have Bruno in your team if you don't have Bruno. Like he hasn't even been playing that well, but I think that he's the kind of player that can just get a goal out of nowhere, you know? So I have Bruno and I'm not going to take him out of my team.
Bruno Fernandes, 100% agree. I currently have Fernandes and Shaw in my team. Shaw has been brilliant, but Fernandes with the penalties. I think next up they have Brighton at home. I can actually see him getting at least 5 more goals and 5 more assists between now and the end of the season. So I think Bruno is definitely a very, very good option. So yeah, I think that one is an easy one. The third team on the table is Leicester. So which one would you have from Leicester City?
Well, I had Harvey Barnes, and he was an amazing differential, and then he got injured. But now I'm thinking about getting Vardy into my team. He's like a very good goal scorer. Iheanacho also has had a couple of double-digit game weeks recently as well. I think double digits are like 9 or something like that. But I'm just not sure like how much he's going to be playing. So it's more for me to see like who starts. I wouldn't get them in for this game week because they play City, but maybe the next one I would get one of them in.
Yeah, so I tipped Iheanacho like a long time ago, like 1 month ago, but I never got him into my team. So I always told people like when we were picking the gem of the week, I always tell people pick Iheanacho, but I was kind of joking. But since he scored like 6 goals and picked up so many assists, yeah, I think he's very, very good. And you guys haven't really finished with them, so I think when you play them, he's also going to score as well. Luckily, he didn't score against us, so I'm happy with that. So Leicester City, for me, I'm going to go with it's a very, very tough one. Probably Jamie Vardy, I think, is the most consistent one. I think the goals will come now. He hasn't really had the best of the seasons, but I'm going to go with him. James Justin was a good pick at the start of the season, so definitely going to go with Vardy as well. Yeah. The fourth one is finally we are there. I think you're the best one to pick for us, a Chelsea player, because there's so many. The rotation is so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for any attacking player at Chelsea because we don't know who's going to start and they're not really scoring that many goals, but they are keeping a lot of clean sheets. So I think the 2 players that are most unlikely to get rotated right now are probably Azpilicueta and Rudiger. Azpilicueta is a little bit more expensive, but he does have like a little bit more potential for bonus points. And he's been playing a little bit better, I think. And since he's Chelsea's captain, I see him more undroppable. We saw that Rudiger got dropped just for 1 game, like 2 weeks ago, and Chelsea are in the Champions League. But I'm between those 2. I haven't decided which one I'm going to have yet because Rudiger is a lot cheaper. But I might go for Aspie.
Do you expect the Chelsea clean sheets to keep on coming and coming?
Yeah, I mean, they have like very favorable fixtures. Chelsea have only conceded 2 goals in 14 games under Thomas Tuchel, one of them being an own goal. So definitely.
Yeah. You must be buzzing. You must be buzzing with that. So I really don't trust the ones who are going to be picked as well. Like, is it going to be James? Is it going to be Azpilicueta as a right back one time? Is it going to be Chilwell, Alonso? But I think Rudiger is a very good option. I was very surprised that Zuma got dropped at when he came because he was scoring so many goals. Yeah. He's a threat in the opposition box. I don't know how he jumps, but he's very, very good. So you're going with Rudiger?
I'm probably gonna go. Azpilicueta is playing as like a right center back now, and a back 3. So I think I'm probably gonna go with Aspie. His returns have been a little bit better, but I have a lot of money because I got rid of Salah. So I'll probably go with Azpilicueta, but I might go with Rudiger. I haven't decided yet.
I think from next season they should allow people to like borrow money from the other FPL players who have a lot of money. I would have borrowed at least 2 million from you. So for me, I really want Van. I don't know why, Ellie. I really want Van. You guys have West Brom next. West Brom at home, and then some really good fixtures. So I'm really thinking of bringing in Van. I don't think he'll miss out. Maybe 2 games that he'll miss out. I'm really thinking Van. So I'll probably go with Van. You're going with Rudiger or Azpilicueta. I think all of them are good options. But again, Azpilicueta, if he was scoring very many goals, I would have definitely have gotten him because he's very good at that. At playing every single game 90 minutes as the captain as well. So Rudiger for you. The 5th team is West Ham. Who knew you're going to be talking about West Ham being the 5th team on the table?
I know.
Who are you going for West Ham? Soucek scored a hat-trick yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. I had him in my team, and then he got a red card, and I was pissed. Like I transferred him in right before the red card incident, and but from West Ham, I have Cresswell because I think that they're keeping a decent amount of clean sheets, and he's also a really good attacking threat as well. He's providing a lot of assists, and I think he's the highest scoring defender so far in FPL. So I have him in my team, and I'm going to keep him, and I would suggest other people to get him as well.
So when they were playing against us last week, that was a tough game. Those guys like almost ripped us to shreds. So I'm going to go with one of those people who ripped us to shreds. I'm going to go with Lingard. I think he's a very good option. He's now played against United or not played against United, so he won't be like tied for any other fixture. He's going to probably play all of them. They don't have any cup competitions as well. They're fighting for top 6, fighting for top 5, top 4 maybe. So definitely going to go with them. Lingard, I think they'll score more goals here and there. So Lingard for me. Team number 6 is Tottenham. We definitely don't like these guys, both of us. So which one are you going for?
I've had Harry Kane since like the beginning of FPL, and I think that he's like one of the must-have assets, like highest goal scorer and assister so far in the league. So I would personally go for Harry Kane if I had to pick any Tottenham player.
Harry Kane. Son is currently injured. I'd probably say Son because I don't know. Because when you have Kane, it like puts a barrier on your team because you can't get the likes of Watkins, Bamford here and there. So you need the cheaper strikers. And then the moment you get Kane and then you get Salah and someone else, like that's too expensive. So I'll probably go for Son when he comes back. I think he'll be fit after the international break. Bale was an option for 1 week, but since he said he wants to leave Tottenham, he doesn't enjoy all that. So for me, I'm going to go with Son. You're going to go with Kane. Son, all of them double-figure goals and double-figure assists this season. Crazy. So Son for me, Bale for you. Has he been your best asset this season?
Sorry?
Has he been your best asset this season, Kane?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's been my best one.
Okay, I do agree. Like I didn't have him from the start of the season, but since like he's scored very many goals as well. The 7th team is Liverpool.
I have Jota in my team. I think that he's more of a goal threat. I had Salah and I just got fed up and took him out finally. Like I wanted to take him out for months and months, and I finally just pulled the trigger because he's just so freaking expensive and he's blanking every single game week. Liverpool haven't been playing well. They're in 7th place right now. And I just think for like people are saying, oh, well, like if he scores and he has a high percentage ownership, then you're playing catch up. But it's like if you have players that are doing well week over week when Salah isn't, it's going to even out in the end. And I just feel like he's so expensive. I just got rid of him. So I have Jota. I think he's more of a goal threat.
Jota, very, very good option. I was going to go with him as well. So Jota for me, like he missed so many months this season. He was very good, as you can see at the start of the season. Mane and Salah dropped off very, very massively. You're talking about Salah blanking. He's currently playing against Kenya. I have him on TV right now, Egypt against Kenya, and he's blanking against us as well. So I don't think he's a good option. He's really struggling against every single country, every single team. So probably not Salah for me. I'd probably go Jota as well. I definitely do agree with Jota. The 8th team is their rivals, Everton.
I had Dominic Calvert-Lewin for a really, really large portion of the game, almost the entire season. I transferred him out before like that blank game week 29. I really like him as an option. I don't think he's been having as many attacking returns, and Richarlison has actually been having more than him. So I think either of the two could be a good option, and they're not like a premium striker either. So they're not going to break your bank.
Yeah, I've had Richarlison. The only thing that annoys me with Richarlison, I hate the players who always pick up yellow cards for fighting and shoving and arguing with the referee. That's Richarlison and Zaha. Always doing that every single time. But I've owned him. He scored against Liverpool. He scored against City in like 1 week, in the space of 1 week. So I'm very happy to own Richarlison still right now. So I'm definitely going to go with Richarlison. Good pick with Calvert-Lewin, obviously. Oh, the 9th team, Ellie, try and be nice. It's Arsenal. You and Liv aren't nice. I remember I asked you and Liv this question. Liv was like, nah, no Arsenal player. So let's see who you say on this list.
I wouldn't own any Arsenal player. I haven't the entire. I think I owned a one at the very beginning, and then I transferred him out like after game week 2 or something like that. I personally don't think it's like a good option. I wouldn't advise anybody. Arsenal are just so up and down that you don't know which way it's going to go. It could be a good differential, but it could also completely backfire. So for me, it's just a little too risky. I think if you're going to pick anybody, you have like Saka is really good, but he's cheap midfield option as well. But I don't think like even he's returning that much.
Okay, so I definitely don't agree with you, obviously. At the start of the season, I had Aubameyang in return for a couple of weeks, but then I also had to sell him. But there's a couple of players that have really helped me. Tierney and I had Tierney and Saka when we played against that place in the season when we started winning games against West Brom. When we beat you guys at the Emirates, basically. Since then, I had Saka and Lacazette and Tierney, and they all returned for like 4 or 5 consecutive weeks. And right now, I currently have Lacazette, who has scored in the last 3 game weeks. So I'm really happy with owning him. I think he's a good option. But obviously, there are better options. I agree with you. But if you're to have someone, I'd probably go with Saka. I think Saka would be a good option and cheap option. He misses a lot of chances, though. I've noticed that. So Saka probably for me. The 10th team is Aston Villa. Who would you go for to Aston Villa?
I have Martinez in goal, and I think he's like a must-have. Honestly, I think he's really, really good player. He gets a lot of bonus points as well, makes a lot of saves, and they've been playing pretty strong as well. You know, for Aston Villa to be in 10th, that's massive. And you know, they have the likes of Grealish and Ollie Watkins as well. I think Grealish is back from injury now. Not 100% sure on that one, but Martinez, I think he's like one of the highest scoring goalkeepers, if not the highest. I've had him from the beginning. I think that he's a really good option.
I still can't believe we sold him. Until today, I'm still trying to figure out why we sold him. I'd probably go for Martinez. I agree with you. Very good shot stopper. They keep it clean sheets. Like comparing to last season, very, very poor. At the start of the season, you'd have had El Ghazi, but all of a sudden he doesn't play these days. I would have gone for him in another video probably a couple of months ago, but I do agree with Martinez. Very good goalkeeper, clean sheets. He always gets bonus points as well, 2 or 3 bonus points every single time. So I'm probably going to go with Martinez just like Q. The 11th team on the table is Leeds United. We're now coming to the teams that you probably won't pick players from. Leeds United.
Well, I actually have 2 players from Leeds. I have Bamford and Rafinha. And I kind of go I go benching one or the other. Bamford, I think most people have, and he's a very good striker option. But Rafinha, actually, he caused Chelsea a lot of problems when we played against Leeds. And he actually, like recently, I think might have even been scoring more than Bamford has. And he's very cheap. He's 5 point something. So if you want a good differential for your midfield, Rafinha could be a good option.
He's a very good player. Like they bought him from like the France League 2 or something crazy. Would you have him at Chelsea if you had like 40 million for him?
How much? 40 million.
Yeah, for Rafinha. No. Would you pay it? No.
No, our midfield is totally stacked. I wouldn't.
But yeah, I think he's a very good player. The winger, he's like the traditional winger every single team is. It's like a Mahrez kind of player, but he's very good, and they bought him on a cheap. So I'll probably go for Bamford myself. The next team is Crystal Palace. Interesting to see which players you pick from these teams.
I picked Zaha, but I just think, again, Crystal Palace is like very volatile, and I was thinking about Zaha for weeks, but I just never bought him because I wasn't sure if he's pretty expensive for his goal return. So like if I had to pick anybody, I would pick him, but I don't think that he's like the best option out there.
Yeah, like we are coming to the teams where you're literally just mentioning names because they're not good enough. I'll probably go with Eze. I've always tipped him since the start of the season. Good. Yeah, and he's owned by really little, like a less amount of players or percentage. So I'm definitely going to go with him. Eze, maybe the next one would have been their goalkeeper Guaita, but also the rotation with them and Southampton, you never know which goalkeeper plays as well. So for me, it's going to be Eze. I don't like Zaha because of the picking up of yellow card stuff. So for me, I'm going to go with Eze. Then the next team is going to be the 13th team on the table. Let me see. Yeah, probably going to be a hard time for you to pick from these teams. We have the likes of Southampton, Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle, Sheffield United. Remaining. So the 13th team is Wolves on the table.
For Wolves, I picked Neto. I think it's pronounced. He has 5 goals, 7 assists so far in the league. Pretty good for the price that he's at.
Yeah. And at the start of the season, he was crazy good. Like, I couldn't believe he's like 19, 20. I thought he was like 26.
Yeah.
Yesterday he played with Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes in the international. So, yeah, he's looking very, very good every single time. But for me, I'd probably go for, probably I don't know whether Patricio is fit. I don't know whether how serious his injury was. So I'll probably go with the goalkeeper because he's the one who's like most consistent in terms of playing. I think Neto and Traore will be rotated here and there with the games coming thick and fast. So Patricia in goal for me. The 14th team on the table is Southampton.
I chose Ward-Prowse. He actually has like fairly high goals, like points, and he's also on penalties, I think. So he could be a good differential option. I personally wouldn't go for him, but if you don't have that much money in the bank and you want somebody who's going to be playing week in, week out on penalties, they're not competing in any well, they're in the FA Cup, I think, still, but not in Europe. Yeah. So he could be a good option.
For me, I'm going to go with Vestergaard. Very, very, very good threat, like from corners. You just imagine him and Zoom in the same team, you'd score every single corner. So Vestergaard definitely for me plays every single time. Attacking threat can get you points. Ward-Prowse always targets him with the set pieces, always targets him. So for me, I'm going to go with Vestergaard. The 15th team is Burnley.
I chose Pope. I think it's like the easy option.
Yeah. Yeah. Pope. I'm going to go with Taylor at left back. I think he also gets himself goals sometimes and assists and clean sheets. But Burnley, it's not the Burnley we knew about 3 years ago. I don't think it's the same Burnley. They concede a lot of goals all the time these days. So we're just probably just saying for the sake of it. So I'm going to go with Taylor. The 16th team is Brighton.
I picked Trossard. He has the last 2 game weeks, he has 2 double-digit game weeks, so potentially differential. I haven't looked at Brighton's upcoming fixtures, though, and I usually like to look at a team, like their next 3 or 4 fixtures before transferring in a player.
Yeah, they have it tough. Them and Newcastle have it very tough. I think they'll be playing, I think both of them are playing Arsenal. I think both of them are playing Chelsea, if I'm not wrong. So they have really tough fixtures, both of them. Like those are like a comparison of which team is going to win most games in terms of relegation, and all of them, like you can only see one win for all of them. So probably for Brighton, I'm going to go with Trossard. He's been scoring goals recently and he's looking good against, so I'm going to go with Trossard as the option. Lamptey would have been good, but he doesn't play these days, injured all the time. The 17th team is Newcastle. Very, very tough one for you.
Callum Wilson is coming back to fitness. I think it says like 25% chance of him playing. So if you pick anybody from Newcastle, I would pick him. Cheap forward option, can score some goals. Think he's on penalties as well. But again, like I probably wouldn't pick anybody from Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle is a tough one. I'm going to go with Lascelles. A couple of weeks ago, I tipped him to score and he did. So I'm going to stick with him. I don't think they'll keep a lot of clean sheets, but he's probably the best option there. Like there's literally no one else. Even Newcastle fans, the likes of Kendall will tell you there's no Newcastle. There's no option from Newcastle, to be honest. Willock, we could get a couple of goals before the end of the season for them if he goes forward. So tough for Newcastle. I'm going to go with Lascelles from them. Then you're going to the literal basement now. The 18th team is Fulham. I'm sure you're going to get a couple of from Fulham there.
I picked Areola. Like he's a good, cheaper goalkeeper option if you can't afford any of the goalkeepers that we mentioned before.
Yeah, Areola is a good option. I'm going to go with Lookman. I think Lookman will get a couple of goals as well, and he plays every single time. And now they don't have any other competition to focus on. They have to focus on the Premier League. So I'm going to go with Lookman. The 19th team is West Brom. Any option from West Brom?
Not really. I picked Pereira, 5 goals, 4 assists, but he's blanked in the last 8 game weeks. So I wouldn't advise it. But if you have to pick somebody, then I go for him.
I'm going to get Johnston because of the saves, and I think it got picked for the English team or the England team by Southgate. So I think his confidence will be up, and then maybe he'll keep a couple of clean sheets. They have to if they want to survive. They have to try and keep clean sheets and. Maybe a penalty save somewhere, maybe. So I'm going to go with Johnston in goal. And then the last team on the table is Sheffield United.
I picked McGoldrick. He has 6 goals and 1 assist, but again, wouldn't advise.
We always say that about McGoldrick, but I've never really seen. Okay, he gets a lot of chances. He plays very well. He's probably the best player, but he doesn't really get those kind of numbers that we want. Like 6 goals, is it enough to survive the league? I don't think so. So for them, I'll probably go with Ramsdale in goal as well. I don't think any of their options are good enough. So really, really tough picking from these teams. But if you're having to, like for the Sheffield fans, probably pick Ramsdale in goal. He also played today for the under-21s for England. So probably good enough for him. And I'll give you this question. Ellie, what chips do you have left from FPL
I
Focus?
don't have any. I used them like really stupidly when I didn't
Don't
know
worry,
how.
first season, yeah. You just want to
I
get it done.
I used my triple captain in the double game week, massive, and I didn't get anything from it. It sucked. So I don't have anything left.
Okay, and then someone on Facebook asks, Ellie, who has been your favorite FPL player this season?
For a while it was Gundogan because he was like such a secret asset and he was so cheap, like a cheat code. But the best one probably Harry Kane.
And what's the current rank right now?
I'm between like 800,000 and 900,000. I don't know like the exact rank.
Okay. And what are you targeting?
I don't have a target. I'm just doing it for fun.
You don't have a target, just doing it for fun. I mean, like, I always start by saying I want to win it, which is probably impossible. But yeah, I get you. But yeah, since you're 900K right now, you're targeting like 500K at least. You want to be in the top 1 million. That would be great for your first season. I'm guessing.
I guess. I've never played before, so I don't know what. I just like looking into the players and learning more about the teams and making videos on it.
Yeah.
Like that's fun for me. So.
And then last question: if you're to have 3 players from one team, which team would you focus on from now till the end of the season? Just one team to have 3 players from.
Normally, I would say City, but with the Champions League, I feel like that's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Maybe. I don't know. City's like the best, but I think they're also so far ahead that they might just drop off because they're like, we've already won it. I'm trying to think. I wouldn't own 3 from Manchester United, I don't think. Well, maybe like Shaw, Fernandez, and then maybe like a Rashford or something like that. Chelsea, you just don't know who's going to play, so I probably wouldn't advise. Or you can like double up for Chelsea defenders, perhaps. You're Man United or Chelsea, maybe.
Yeah, I'd go for Chelsea actually. I think if I had a wild card today, I'd probably get Mendy and then get Rudiger and then get Van. I really want Van in my team, so I'd probably go with Chelsea with 3 players. I know you have Champions League and there will be rotations, so I feel Focus as who do you think will score big next game week? For me, I'm going to go with Van, as I just said. I think against West Brom, I can see 2 or 3 goals for him there. How about you? Next game week?
I'm just going to pull up the fixtures really quickly.
Yeah, I think there's Arsenal against Liverpool. I think there's Chelsea against West Brom.
Yeah, Leicester against Man City is a difficult one. Spurs against Newcastle, and perhaps Harry Kane will score big. Maybe Mason Mount for Chelsea could also be a good option as well. I think he's like really underrated. Everton play Crystal Palace, so maybe like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or Man United play Brighton. That's also a pretty good fixture. So there's a couple of options.
Yeah, it's very good options. And then I think it's game week 33. If you can go to game week 33, I think it's 32, 33. Like Arsenal will play Fulham, and there'll be very, very many easy fixtures. It will be very difficult to pick. I think it's the week that has like 5 games alone. So there's a week, I think 33. If you can confirm it for me. I think 33 has like very easy fixtures for everyone. That's why it will be very interesting to see which players are picked in that week.
Yeah, week 32, it looks like.
Arsenal have?
They have Fulham.
Chelsea
don't play.
Chelsea don't play. And City, do they play that week?
City don't play either. No.
Liverpool?
There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 teams playing. Liverpool play. Man United play Burnley.
Exactly.
Spurs play
Everton. Yeah. That week is going to be very interesting to see who's going to be captain that week. Yeah. So very, very easy fixtures apparently. Should I pick Bell for my PGA golf? Yeah, you should. You should. I think that's what he's going to focus on right now, golf. So, Ellie, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
No problem. I think we're still going to play you guys, so I'll have you on maybe when we're playing against you guys as well against Chelsea. So where can they follow you? Where can they follow you?
Sorry?
Where can they follow you? Social media and stuff.
Oh, sorry. My @ on Twitter is right here, Ellie_Helenek. I also have a YouTube channel at Elizabeth Helenek, and Instagram is just Elizabeth_Helenek.
Thank you very much. I'll leave her link to the YouTube in the description. Sorry. So thank you very much for coming on. Thank you everyone for watching. Let me know in the comment section which players you'll be picking from every single team on YouTube and Facebook. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.